Fuck it. Just buy a shit ton of knowledge enemies. How much? Is it even worth it? Oh god, it's not worth it. For 150,000? It's 50k.
First.
Urgent stuff.
Hey, it landed on me.
Alright, let's see if
I'm gonna cry. Can I like trade stimulants?
Alright.
I don't think so.
Can I trade stimulants for knowledge?
1 second. Let's see.
Said you fucking whore.
Oh, it's about to die. Oh, it's about to die.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream.
Yo, Mr. Simple.
What's up? I'm streaming. I'm trying to figure out.
You're lagging.
Am I?
You lagging?
Oh, no, I think I'm the one that's lagging. Hello?
Yeah, you're lagging.
You're
not
lagging.
us.
Alright.
Hello?
Well, welcome to the stream, people. Initially, I was going to have this be a video, but I figured why not open it up and kind of have it be a discussion type thing. So, this stream, for a reason, is titled Let's Talk About Skyforge, and that's because I kind of just want your honest opinions. So if your honest opinion is that you want to come in here and say fuck Skyforge, that's on you. But me, honestly, right now I'm feeling kind of indifferent. I don't hate the game, I don't particularly love the game. All in all, I think I'm just kind of bored.
Are you gonna support your statement on why you are bored?
Yeah, of course.
Alright,
So I guess we'll start off with my opinion. So why I'm bored, right? Let's just, I don't know, where do we start? From the ground up, I guess. Let's really think about this one. So first of all, we got this invasion, and for what it's worth, the vast majority of the game is actually centered around the invasions, which is kind of cool. I thought it was more of like a half and half component initially, but it's probably really more like 70-30. Like, you can go ahead and play that normal PvE content that was going to be there regardless, but really your main focus is the invasions, which I think is a cool thing, other than the fact that the invasions last a little bit too long in my opinion, and then they have a kind of odd standard deviation and variation of difficulty. Most of us, because the game was broken initially, most of us found it too easy early on. I don't know whether or not they buffed things or where we're supposed to be right now, but now most people are running into a wall. D4, for the most part, is almost incompletable. D3, a lot of people struggled with it. I think it was probably a fair difficulty, but for the average player who may not have caught up on their bastions and doesn't have the best gear yet, it's probably, again, incompletable. Yeah. We look at things like the in-guard test area, which was a fun challenge until, again, you hit a wall where it seems like it's virtually incompletable. It's interesting. I mean, I think it's just, when you take things like this and you think about, this thing has 21 waves. Realistically, it's almost impossible with our current power level, with the way that they scaled us, because they stat clamped us, but they stat clamped us at a stat that is so low, it's actually virtually impossible to complete all 21 waves. With a proficient group, you can make some headway, you can get kind of far and score pretty well, but for the most part, most people can't get past wave 1, which is unfortunate. Really, you want a separation of tiers when you see that kind of thing. You want to have the people who aren't so proficient at the game, maybe, you know, younger kids, or people who just aren't very good at video games. You want to see those people making it between waves 1 and 6. You want to see the middle tier of people, the average player, you know, someone who is just decent, a casual gamer. You want to see them at waves between like 6 and 15, and then the people who are really good, you know, they put in all the time, they're actually putting in a lot of time and maybe perhaps even money. That thing really shouldn't be a what's the word I'm looking for? It shouldn't be a factor in, you know, proficiency. Money shouldn't come into the game at all, really, other than just kind of your progress. I get that the game has to make money, but for things like that, it shouldn't matter when you're getting stat clamped. It's really all just about playing skill. So for those people who are playing the best, they're thinking of strategies, all of that, you should see those players at waves 15 to 21 and even completing the Engar test area. It's just things like that that, you know, I feel like aren't really cohesive. It's weird when you see the upper end of players not getting, you know, even 50% through some of those things. So that's just kind of my take. You know, we have these raids, but these raids are kind of unsubstantive. Not that I feel like story matters. I'm not even playing this game remotely for story. I think the gameplay, for what it's worth, is pretty fair. I would like to see a little bit more balance in DPS between characters and players, and that kind of gets me onto another topic in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, the raids are kind of unsubstantive in the matter that, you know, you're going through it. For the most part, you're not getting your gear. But then even when you do, it's kind of like, what's the point, right? Let's say you've killed Machiaven, you've done the vast majority of the invasion. What else is there to do, really? I get that, you know, you can kind of keep grinding and keep powering through and getting your prestige. But what is your incentive at that point? Why not just wait till the next invasion and then power through the rest of your stuff? You could log in every day, get all your stimulants, hop on in the next month, skip all of your bastions, and do it all over again. So touching to the point of DPS and kind of the imbalance, I've been playing Outlaw more than anything, even after Necromancer, Witch, and Monk. One, because obviously it still does probably the most damage. Two, I kind of, you know, I just got used to it. It's the most fun in my opinion. But really, we kind of don't even know, right? That's the thing. It feels like it's doing the most damage to me, but that may just be because I'm the best with this class in particular. I've used it the most. We actually have no real way of knowing. There's no leaderboards. There's no damage meters. It's really weird. You kind of can't test damage because, like I said, you don't know what you're doing. They have buff tickers and trackers that appear under your name, but there's really no way to fiddle with those and even kind of see how they're affecting you. Even here in my equipment tab, under my stats, on the right hand side of my screen, I have all stats displayed, but I can't even scroll through all of my stats due to a UI glitch that's been here since day one. So there's maybe 10 plus stats that I can't even view and see if they're affecting me because you just can't move that side of the screen. I don't know. So yeah, I find that to be really peculiar. I do enjoy when stuff like the Athenian Adepts and whatever the last one was, when those kind of instances, or not instances, events come up. I think events are cool for a game like this where you kind of have, oh god, I almost deleted some important gear, where you kind of have a you know, a trajectory where your whole gameplay is, you know, mapped out for you. But otherwise, it's like, I don't know, like I said, I'm missing some of the incentive. I'm not really getting what I want from it, maybe. I'm not sure. So that's kind of some of my spiel. I can't really think of the whole thing right now. I am at a little bit of a loss of words. I'm trying to delete stuff and think about things, but I want you guys to bring up your points to me. Tell me if you're feeling bored or indifferent. You know, it doesn't make a difference. This is just kind of your filler game. You know, what you're waiting for, that kind of stuff. Bring up your points to me, and I will, you know, of course, respond to you guys and tell you what I think about that subject. So, I'm going to, let's see, how can I view these comments? Alright. Alright. So, anybody in the Pantheon have any things they feeling?
Well, regarding
Talon,
DPS and stuff like that, I guess it depends on exactly how well you can get all of your cooldowns or whatever down. Like, you know, I don't think Outlaw is the strongest class at all anymore. I really don't feel that. I think it's just the John Cena of the classes right now. It's just what people prefer right now.
Right.
Wendy.
And that's about it. Go ahead, Lash.
I did the first storyline and got to the
You
point
did
where I had
bring
no
up some
idea
pretty
what
good
to do
points,
anymore.
mister.
The
But the
game
thing
is
is,
kinda boring
when
without
you say
plans.
I got used to Outlaw the most, and I think it does the most damage. The thing is, with Skyforge class system, they made it so versatile so that people can learn different classes. Because when the next patch rolls out, and it's been confirmed 100% Outlaw is getting nerfed. If people only played Outlaw, when Outlaw gets nerfed to the point where it's not going to be useful anymore, what class are you going to play? Do you know other classes? Do you own other classes is the question. No, I'm not talking to you like directly. I'm talking to half the player base of Skyforge on PS4. Half of them only play Outlaw. Half of them only own Outlaw. Why?
Right. I mean,
The main reason behind Skyforge class system is that to have that versatile. Oh, your team needs a tank. Yeah, switch to a knight. Your team needs this. Switch to that.
right.
If you only play Outlaw, and when Outlaw gets nerfed to the point where no one can play it anymore, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna play? You don't own any other class. You don't know how to play any other class.
I feel like that's a good argument.
That's like the first point I want to bring up, and the second point about the game being boring. I mean, you kinda do have a point, but in other ways it's not really that boring. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You can help other people, you can run PvP, you can farm for more items, you can do your directives. I can understand where you're coming from. If you've done all your bastions, you've done Flavius Laboratory, you've done your Tower of Knowledge, Cathedral, whatever, you can farm Divine Deeds, you can, I don't know, there's more things to do in the game. It's not like Destiny when it first came out, you had nothing to do. There's a lot of things you can do on Skyforge. But I see where you're coming from, that D3 and D4 are kinda like their difficulty doesn't like match well with like most of the player base of Skyforge. Yeah, you do bring up a good point. But that's why distortions are one of the hardest, I guess, content you can find on Skyforge. It does test the players basically.
Right.
And if you go in, let's say D3 or even D4, if you go in with a, well, D4 right now is fucked, like we all can agree on that. But D3 wise, if you go in D3 with a well-organized group, with well-organized classes, and people actually understand the mechanics and understand the class they're playing, you can easily get through D3. Like D3 shouldn't even be a problem anymore for players. And another point you brought up, which is Skyforge basically being kinda paid to win. It's not kinda, it's really paid to win. If you pay, you're gonna increase your prestige way faster than free players. The only reason why NF fucking brought Skyforge to PS4 is that so they can make money, and they are actually making a lot of money because a lot of people are actually paying, and most MMOs in this fucking, like, in this, I guess, a decade or generation, are pay to win. Like, you can't deny that.
Right. I mean, okay, so.
But you don't have to pay. Like, I know a lot of free players who are at 800, 900k prestige. You don't have to pay. But if you don't pay, you're gonna grind a lot. Like, you have to grind extra.
Right. I mean, I haven't paid. I'm about to be at 600k, and I mean, I'm lacking. I haven't done probably a fair amount of bastions and stuff. I've kind of just been.
Pick up your game, Ty.
Yeah. I don't know. So that's kind of the whole purpose of this. Like, I haven't even posted a video in like almost a week. It's just I don't know. I got lazy, and I think you know, I'm going to kind of give a rebuttal, and I don't know, and then I'll address some of the people in the comments. So I guess first off, for the whole argument of people not knowing other classes, for the most part, people didn't start off with any classes. I think everybody knows Cryomancer pretty well. If everything you know, in an ideal world, right, where everything did about the same damage if your rotation was perfect, most people would be fine with Cryomancer. For what it's worth, Kinetic is nowhere near the same that it was on PC, and it's, I don't want to say easy on PlayStation, but because of its lack of inputs, I feel that Kinetic is not really hard to learn either. Let's see, what else can I take a look at? I haven't even unlocked Berserker or taken a look at Berserker, but I feel like a lot of people unlocked and probably would do well with Berserker. Gunner is not too difficult to learn. It's kind of, you know...
allow me to interrupt you there. Yeah, allow me to interrupt you there. If someone doesn't know what they're doing on a Berserker, they're gonna be doing fuck all. They might as well just run Cryo or Outlaw. Berserker actually takes...
If you don't know how to use Berserker, uninstall your game.
Yeah. Dude, Berserker is not an easy class. I don't know why people say that. If you don't know how to manage your Fury and you don't know what combos to use and when to use them, you're gonna do nothing on your Berserker.
Okay, man. Right. I mean, that's fair. I mean, I just think for the most part, you know, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the average gamer, right, you can pick up, as the average gamer, you can pick up Skyforge and it has, like, a very nominal learning curve. Like, sit down, take 30 minutes to an hour, and I don't think any class is particularly too hard to learn. I think the thing that makes classes the hardest to learn, other than the fact that the tooltips are, you know, like, substantially inadequate, none of them are really hard to learn. So, like, had the tooltips been better, then I think almost every class would be really easy to master on this game.
No, thing is, okay, you say if any average player gets on the game, reads the classes, spends 30 minutes watching guides or whatever, he's gonna get good at the class. I have to disagree with you there. If you wanna, like, if you wanna do the most, your class can do, it's gonna take a while to master that class. Like, it's not just gonna take you 30 minutes and you're gonna, oh wow, cool, you mastered Gunner, you're gonna be the best Gunner ever. No, it actually takes time to master a class. You can learn a class in 30 minutes, yeah. But are you gonna master that class? No, it takes time.
Right, no, I mean, I'm not saying you're going to be the best at the class. I'm just saying that, you know, after an hour or so of trying to figure it out, like, if you're actually sitting there and giving it a concerted effort to figure it out, I have trouble believing that anybody would be bad at any of the classes. And, like, for what it's worth, like, this is not World of Warcraft, you know, you're not sitting there with, you know, 15 to 20 keys that you, and World of Warcraft is way easier than it used to be, but this is not an MMO where, you know, you have a bunch of key bindings and everything is very pivotal in your loadout, you know? It's like, basically you have 2 or 3 moves that are used in certain circumstances, which would be AoE and single target, and then, you know, for classes like Cryomancer and Warlock/Witch, you just have to obviously understand the concept of dot weaving, keeping your dots up the whole time, and then using burst or procs whenever you get them. But other than that, that's like, those are basic mechanics of MMOs, and I'm not saying, like I'm saying, I'm talking about the middle tier of players. I'm not saying just everybody can pick up the game and be good, but I'm saying your average player who plays video games normally will be able to get on this game and play with fair proficiency.
You have to get to his power level until you can beat him, her, so you have some.
Okay, yeah, they can get on, pick up Skyforge, get on and play it through. But what gamer right now wants to just be average at the game they play? I know for a fact, for me, if I want to play a game, I want to be one of the best players in that game. Or not one of the best players, that's a broad term. I want to be a good player.
I hear a Pokemon song coming on.
Someone
I wanna be
the best, like no one ever. But like, thing is, like I want to get to the part in Skyforge where if any player, no matter what prestige they are, no matter what skill level they are, ask me a question about any class or anything in the game, so I can be able to answer them to that question. You know, like that's how I want to be on Skyforge, and I'm grinding hard for that fucking status. But thing is, if you wanna learn everything about your class and master it, like let's say I want to pick up Knight and I want to learn everything about Knight. It's not gonna take me a day. It's not gonna take me 2 days. It might take, like, if there's a player that's really very, very skilled in MMOs, it might take him a day. Okay, he's a good player. But for me personally, you have to play with the class over and over again in every single situation. No matter how hard the raid you're doing, the distortion you're doing, or how easy it is. You just have to learn everything. And it comes back to why Skyforge class system is like this. It has to be versatile. Like players have to be able to play more than 2 classes.
Right.
Because if you're not versatile, and when different content starts to drop, like Pantheon Wars, harder distortions, harder avatars, when Elder God drops, if you don't know how to play more than 2 classes, for me personally, just uninstall Skyforge. Like I'm just putting it that out there.
Right, and I mean, but
the main reason behind Skyforge class system is that so you can learn and master all the classes.
And see,
say all, it's a broad
that's
term.
what I was getting at.
At least like 4 or 5 classes.
Like that's the premise of the game. Like, okay, the average MMO expects you to pick up 1 class and, you know, take a moderate amount of time learning that class because you only have the ability to use that class. This game gives you the ability to use all of those classes, which makes it fundamentally way easier than every MMO to learn any class because they know that you have to use all of them. So they didn't make any of the classes particularly hard to learn for the simple fact that you have to know them. They want you to know all the classes, so all of them are easy to understand. It's really that simple. So like,
what up, Jits?
What's up, Nord? Oh God, Jits? Where are you from, Nord? Where are you from?
Yeah, but the thing is simple. The thing is, this is why Skyforge class system is that versatile. The game wants you to learn how to play all these different classes. It doesn't want you to stick on 1 class and just keep playing that 1 class. This is not World of Warcraft. This is not Terra. You're supposed to be versatile. You're supposed to be able to play more than 2 or 3 classes. That's what I'm getting at. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to learn more than 2 or 3 classes, this is not the game for you. Okay, I can understand someone playing Outlaw every single day, every fucking hour, and they master that class. But why don't you move on to another class? Why do you keep playing Outlaw? Like if Outlaw gets nerfed to fuck, like if Outlaw gets nerfed to fuck and there's no use for Outlaw anymore in any part of the game, are you still gonna be playing Outlaw? I don't think people would take you if Outlaw fucking sucked. Like if Outlaw did the lowest amount of damage, I don't think people would accept you in their groups.
Right.
Or in
I mean, but that's more of a moot argument. Like, I get it. I mean, what you're saying makes complete sense. But like I said,
it comes back to our old argument. You need to learn more than a class, more than 2 classes, even more than 3 classes.
Right. I mean, no, I get you. But, you know, realistically, or not realistically, but ideally, that would never happen. Outlaws shouldn't be nerfed to the point where it's useless. Should be nerfed where it's brought in line with other classes, which means that, like, realistically, all of the DPSs are supposed to be circumstantial. Like, you know, you have a melee DPS, you have an AoE DPS, a ranged DPS, and you have a couple of each. So, if you're playing Outlaw as your primary range...
I've heard what they did to him on the PC. They dropped his triangle circle damage, his ult damage, lowered his upped his cooldowns on both of them. Like they just evened him out basically.
Right, which is
almost last in DPS on PC now.
Okay, I mean.
But that's the point, dude. Like, thing is, Skyforge class system is so versatile. Like, you can switch classes whenever you want, and you can't say Outlaw does the most damage. Like, a class will do its most damage if it's in the correct, like,
environment for its right.
Yeah, basically, if you're playing test area and there's a lot of AoE going on, and you need that AoE, you're gonna go either Zerker or Warlock, because to me those 2 classes, or Gunner or Warlock, to me those 2 classes have the highest AoE damage. If you stay Outlaw and there's like 20 ads in front of you, you're not gonna be doing that much AoE damage. Like lead Carousel just doesn't do enough damage. Even your grenades, they just don't do enough AoE damage. But if you're playing a Warlock, you have like 4 or 5 spells that do AoE damage, and it will help a lot with team. Or even if you have a Gunner. But that's what I'm saying. Okay, maybe if it's single target damage, maybe Outlaw does the most single target damage.
Outlaw is definitely an AoE DPS for sure, 100%. That's all it's built for.
How is Outlaw an AoE DPS? Even with his ultimate, and the passive that makes the ultimate do AoE damage. You can't compare an Outlaw AoE to a Warlock AoE. Warlock just is a god at AoE.
I mean, I'm not saying Warlock's not better. I'm saying Outlaw is 100% an AoE class though, for sure.
Honestly, I don't think Outlaw's an AoE class.
It only has.
He has a lot of AoE abilities. True, but his only high. His only high hitting AoE ability is his triangle circle, which is I think I forgot the name of it
And
to be honest.
that's if it
And that
actually lands on that 50 and crits.
Yep. Exactly. If he crits,
Yeah.
he doesn't crit. Like I said, okay, he has a lot of AoE damage with his normal circle if you hit that. His lead carousel just doesn't do enough damage, man. Even
I'm just saying.
Nade, even your nade when it procs, it is not gonna do that much AoE damage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it's the best AoE. I'm just saying it's definitely built to be an AoE class. It only has 2 single target abilities, other than its, you know, auto attack, which is always a solo target ability. But the grenade is an AoE, your super's an AoE, triangle circle's an AoE, lead carousel's technically an AoE. 6 of the...
Yes, okay, you have AoE abilities, okay, but they don't do damage. They don't do much AoE damage other than your... Yeah, carousel doesn't do much AoE damage.
Carousel's an auto attack.
Let's say if you're doing...
Yeah, they're about to make it where carousel, like you don't get
lead carousel is your R1.
Yeah, I'm saying lead carousel is technically an auto attack. Like, it's nothing. Like, it's filler damage.
Do much AoE damage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a filler. It's not meant to be your primary source of damage. That's like saying...
Exactly. Okay, you can say Outlaw is built to be AoE because he has many AoE abilities, but if we define an AoE class, it's basically a class that can deal massive amounts of damage to a group of enemies. Outlaw doesn't deal massive amounts of damage. Yeah, okay, Cryo does a lot of AoE damage. Warlock does a lot of AoE damage. Gunner even, not a lot, but Gunner.
I would say Gunner's a solo target DPS though.
With siege mode, you can do some nice AoE damage.
But that circle, like
you can't compare it to a Cryo or a Warlock, but you still do some decent. It's better than fucking Outlaw AoE damage. I can tell you that.
That's the thing. Like, all right, so this is the point of this was my point obviously previously of the lack of tooltips and explanation of classes. If you talk to any PC player, Refraction Reaction is probably a good source of information on this stuff. They'll tell you how all these classes are intended to work, and so it's oh god, where was I going with this? Like I said, it's all circumstantial. So the reason why Outlaw is technically a good Outlaw is technically a good AoE DPS is because of its nominal cooldowns, right? So you can say that Cryomancer is a really good AoE DPS that's comparable to Witch, but it relies heavily off of procs. If you're not getting procs, you're doing very bad damage. If you're not getting whiteout off on the right area, you're not doing good damage. There's a whole bunch of things. Outlaw is way more maneuverable. You can move anywhere quickly. I don't know. I mean, I didn't want this to turn into a huge DPS discussion. This game is heavily DPS focused.
Yeah, Outlaw does more damage than freaking Cryo for sure, though. Yeah, I mean, that's just...
AoE damage? No,
Yes.
I don't think so.
I mean,
Yes.
You
Yes.
have to wait years for both of your cooldowns.
That's why we need leaderboards, though. That's my point. Outlaw would be smoking everything on the leaderboards. I promise you. I'm just being honest.
Discuss it. If you want to discuss it, that's why, dude. When I started the discussion, I said if the class is in its perfect fucking environment, if you got the procs, if you got everything going for you, Cryo would just shit on Outlaw. Sorry for the term.
Okay, I get where you're going. Okay.
Dude,
Yeah, that's what I'm discussing.
That's not possible for Cryo, though.
Going for you, but either way, though, Outlaws, even in bad situation, Outlaw beats Cryo.
Right. That was my point.
Yes. No. Listen.
I got something.
Okay, you could
Go ahead, Nord.
Okay,
Yeah, let Nord say what he's gonna say.
I was about to say, Donald's actually seen this. Kind of like, not even against a shield. I have straight out DPS'd an Outlaw with a Berserker.
Right.
If I get raid, dude, if I keep
Nord,
rage,
Nord,
I can get nowhere near DPS.
let me say something, Nord. Sorry for interrupting you. Sorry for interrupting you, Nord. But that goes back to my main discussion. If let's say if we have Nord and an Outlaw player, if Nord has mastered Berserker and that Outlaw player has mastered their class, Nord's gonna do more damage because Nord knows the in and outs of Berserker, and that Outlaw doesn't know how his DPS rotation should go. But if both of them if both of them are on the same level, I'd say Outlaw will out DPS it because Outlaw is fucking broken right now. Like, I'd say that. But if someone mastered their class and another person hasn't, the person who mastered their class will do more damage. He can squeeze their class to its limit. Basically push it
right, yeah. I mean, that wasn't my argument.
And it comes back. I played with a player. He's actually a very good player. His name is Evil Monkey Closet. He's like 720k and he plays Knight. He mainly plays Knight. He can do so much damage on a Knight, it's unfucking believable.
Right?
Because he knows how to play Knight. He knows every single thing, every little thing about Knight. Every animation cancel you can do, every damage rotation you can do in certain situations. That's what I'm saying. If you master a class, you're gonna be doing everything that class can offer. And that's why Skyforge class system is so versatile. If you don't master your class or the class you're playing, you're not gonna be getting like all the juices out of that class, if that makes sense.
I get you. I mean, it's alright. Like, first of all, like, that wasn't my argument per se. I definitely agree that, you know, somebody who knows the ins and outs of their particular or preferred class is obviously be more proficient than someone who doesn't know what they're doing. That's always the case. But what you're saying here is also kind of contradictory in the sense that you're saying, you know, if you learn a class that basically you want to be really proficient with the class because of the versatility, but that's focusing on specializations. Like, is your friend who's a knight also good with all of the other classes?
Not all 14, but he's good with about, like, he plays about 4 or 5 classes. He plays 5 classes, yeah.
Right, which is what the game wants from you.
Yeah, he can play Alchemist, he can play Knight and Paladin, and he can play Warlock and Outlaw. Yeah, Warlock and Outlaw. But the thing is, and this goes back to my main argument, if you learn like more than 3 classes, you're gonna be perfect. You're gonna be a perfect Skyforge player. Because in whatever team you're thrown in, if your team needs a support, you can play Alchemist, you know how to when to buff, you know when to use that stabilizer, you know who to shield, when to shield. If your team needs a DPS, you can play that Outlaw, you can play that fucking Gunner even if you want, or that Zerker. You know when to you know your rotation, you know when to use your buffs, you know how to manage that class's fucking primary stat, not stat, energy bar, let's say. Like you know, Zerker has Fury, Gunner has Heat. You know how to manage that. You know when to use your buffs, your highest hitting damage abilities. This is my main argument, basically. If you master more than 2-3 classes, you're gonna be a perfect Skyforge player, and everyone is gonna want to play with you. Because no matter what situation you are put in, you can switch to a class that your team will definitely need.
Yeah, you're going to be useful to your raid group or anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Who needs you.
Yeah, exactly. So like when in our Pantheon, when we do like a D3 or a D4 or whatever, like whatever content, if someone needs, if we go, we need a Lightbinder, someone's gonna pop up and say, I can play Lightbinder, and he switches to Lightbinder, and we like finish it, we complete it. If we need the Alchemist, if we need the Paladin, whatever, and basically just comes back to my main point. If you know more than 3-4 classes, if you know how to play those classes, you're gonna be a great Skyforge player, and everyone is gonna want to play with you. But if you only know one class, okay, let's say you know Outlaw, that's perfect. You mastered Outlaw, you can do a lot of damage. But what if your team needs a tank? What if your team needs to support? What if no one else can switch to like? This is what I'm saying. What if your team needs something else other than Outlaw? What are you gonna do then?
I mean,
that's my main point.
I get you, but you know that also begs the question, like, can any of the 9 other people play tank?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like,
okay, yeah. When I said the word, I thought about that, but still, it all falls on the on you as a player.
Right. I mean, I get it. I'm not saying you should go through the game only play one class and it doesn't matter how good you are with the others. I was just, you know, basically initially I was making the point that Outlaw clearly still has a higher standard deviation of damage. Like, you know, something that you have that should be a hard-hitting ability, like say for Cryomancer per se, you know, let's say we're both Divine, same exact prestige, same gear, same modifiers, everything. You hit an Icy Comet proc.
But not everyone.
Your grenade, an Outlaw grenade can roughly do the same amount, like the same exact amount of damage. I've actually done stuff just to test that, because we have no damage leaderboards and no damage meters. I tried to go into Distortion 2 using the couple of DPS that I know well, and look at the ticks and see what I get. And Outlaw just does so much more damage by far. It's like that's actually a really good way. That's the best way I found out how to test damage. Go into Distortion 2 by yourself and pick up the Spark and just time yourself. See how quickly you can kill that boss with all of your DPS classes. And if you're using Outlaw properly, it's probably the fastest.
I told you, dude. Like,
wait. On a different note, I just bought the Necro. I just hit my 3 mil crits. Let's go.
There it is.
Dude, why did you buy Necro?
Shut up.
Alright, everyone in stream, I guess give me your concerns, tell me about your stuff. Queue up randomly, people just queue Operation Ophelia. I have some faith, and I guess I'm just gonna go I'm gonna go do Ophelia.
Oh, let me level up this Necro and I'd love to do PvP.
I
want to learn this PvP.
Everyone queue Ophelia.
I gotta burn off.
Dude,
earlier. Let's see.
Y'all's heated debate, y'all were talking about people using classes. I'm just saying, dude, Nero is still the sickest Necro I've ever seen. Dude terrifies me.
Nero is a fucking amazing Necro, dude. Holy fuck.
Alright,
okay,
so...
thing is, when you...
everybody. You don't give a fuck.
Let's see.
Don't give a fuck.
Dude, I've never seen a tank, any tank in this game be able to take 3 people that easily. Like,
oh my god, dude.
He could straight tank on a Necro.
Let's see.
Ooh.
I mean, technically, I did the 1v3 and you did the 1v2 Nord, so...
Because let's say, speaking of people not being able to run their classes, remember I fucked up that 9 Paladin with a Paladin?
Hey, there you go.
They were both full health, and like,
Boy, Prince,
right
getting up there.
Right at the ending, he was like, I'm killing this guy. It's like, it's cool, I got these 2. Took down the knight, started working the Paladin.
Simple C, when we play PvP, me and Nord, when we play equals, which is the 3 versus 3, you find out so many people have no idea what they're doing with their class. It's so funny, dude. Like, oh my god, I love PvP, just for that reason.
I feel like we shouldn't be restricted just as much as we are. That's what makes it fucking boring when you're fucking restricted from playing a fucking game.
Right.
What do you mean restricted? In what way?
We are restricted right now. They're stopping us from growing, and this game is...
He's saying like Bastions and all that.
Yeah, it's been out for 3 years. Like,
I mean, they want us to have a normal rate of progression because we've only had the game for 2 or 3 months. They don't want us to be 3 years in.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you look at fucking PS4 players, they got D4 and they're still at like 290, 300k prestige. We got D4 and people are already at fucking 1.1 million, a million prestige. Like, what the fuck?
Right, I mean...
And you look at the HP differences. Fucking D4 on PC, the boss and Nicholas has like 1.7 G. On PS4 he has 7.3 Gs. Like,
right.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, but I would say everything works differently though, because.
Well, true, yeah.
Because they broke it. Like, all right, for the PC players, I don't know the exact timeline. I wasn't playing on PC, but as far as I know, they didn't get to the 400 and 500,000s until a long way in. Like,
I think Simple cut out.
Yo, you
hello.
Go back to.
Oh yeah, I have to go back to Pantheon chat. Oh well. Well, let's see. It's weird that I can still hear them though.
Don't be a hater.
Don't be a hater. Don't be a gator.
Somebody in combat? Why can't I?
Oh, okay. How the fuck did I just do that?
Why can't I?
Dude, Necro is fucking hard. Like, I'm not even bullshitting.
On a Necro,
yeah, I can't really stand Necro that much.
When you're playing a Necro, you know how you see him summon one thing, right? They summon one thing and it's done. I just somehow summoned my little tank worms on switched back, and then I had a carry-on come out of the blue and start fucking shit up. So I had 2 summons out on the same time. Oh, how the fuck I did that?
If they die, then you get another summon. That's
is there a way to mute people?
You put your R1, which is basically the hand.
What are you saying, Ty? Oh, you still in party chat, I think.
Maybe. Alright, let me see if I can mute them.
If you put in your R1, which is like the hand ability, and you kill an enemy on top of the hand, you're gonna spawn an ad. That's gonna kill shit for you, basically.
That's cool as well.
Read your abilities, Nord. Read your abilities.
I'm pressing buttons.
Yeah, if we weren't such restricted, because I know the best thing ever. Like when I'm playing this game, I know the best time ever is to go on my mount and just ride around the observatory and not do
Let's
shit.
see.
Dude, Ty's in group chat. Why?
I think he's trying to figure that out.
Okay,
You press up, Ty, and then you go to the little microphone.
No, yeah, I know how to change chats. I was trying to figure out how to mute certain.
I see what you're saying, dude. Okay, Necro really ain't easy to play. His combos are fucking stupid. He's got way too many of them.
Imagine if we just wait till you unlock all Necro abilities, dude. He's so fucking hard. Like, I gotta message Nero and be like, yo, teach me Necro, bro.
Oh, I'm gonna learn it. That's one thing, dude. I never shy away from learning a class.
I want to learn kinetic now. I can play 4 classes to a good, level.
It's weird. I just.
Open world stages can give you a bunch of code.
Oh no, I was just talking to the live stream chat. I guess they were saying, you know, I don't know, the whole chat system. It's weird that you can't actually not be in a chat. Like,
dude, yeah, fucking. That's the thing I always tell the people in our pantheon. Why don't we have a chat on Skyforge? It's gonna be it's gonna make everything easier. Finding groups, recruiting, whatever. They need to implement the chat system, honestly.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, like, it's weird that you can't like enter the game without being in a voice chat. Like, you can't technically ever play without not being in a chat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you're in a pantheon, you're automatically in chat that you can't switch out of, and if you're in a group, you're either in that chat or pantheon chat.
No, you can't leave pantheon chat. What are you saying?
You can only do the Batonite once.
Oh,
yeah, just go.
Alright, I see what you're saying. So just hold on.
Just smashing it every time, I guess.
That's weird though, so you have to leave it every time?
Yeah.
And then go into what chat though? Just go into a
party chat
no
or
chat.
whatever else.
Yeah, no, you don't. Nord.
Let me see. Huh.
Yeah, I know only that once.
I see.
I wish the game allowed our characters to fly high at least during God form.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool if you could just like fly around. But alright, so now that there's slightly less voices, not that, well, we did actually get kind of off track there. I was just kind of bringing up the DPS thing to touch on it. But yeah, let me know how you guys are feeling. Like I said, I in general, more than anything, I think I'm just feeling indifferent. Like I said, I don't particularly hate the game, but I don't particularly love the game. I'm more than anything just kind of bored. It's not that this game isn't competitive per se. You know, the Ingar test area, like I said, it's cool. I think, you know, there's some problems in the way that it functions, but I think I like leaderboard systems. I really do. I think that is one of the most fun things about, you know, just MMOs in particular. There's an app that I'm playing right now that I genuinely have more fun on, just because I think that it works in a way that is more fun to me. Like, it's nothing too crazy, but the leaderboard system is nice. I like that feeling of a ranking system that actually works.
What do you think about Terra?
Okay, so this is actually, I'm glad somebody asked that. This is actually really cool. I just got a gaming PC. My birthday is tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? What's today? The 6th, the 7th? Which day is it? I've been on break for too long. Okay, yeah, my birthday is tomorrow. So yeah, I will be 20 years old tomorrow. I think Terra's actually pretty cool. I just downloaded it on PC, and I'm going to like live stream on Twitch. I can finally make use of Twitch now. I'll like live stream first impressions, and I'll kind of do a bunch of playthroughs kind of before PlayStation 4 launch, just so that when the game comes out, I'm not completely green, and I can offer you some, you know, good advice.
The matchmaking times are shorter.
So let's see. Yeah, okay, so that brings up another thing. I I really dislike the queuing system on this game. For one, the matchmaking, like you said, is not good at all. And more than that, beyond that, you should be able to queue multiple things at once. You should be able to queue more than one instance at a time. You know, it sucks to be waiting for a PvP match that you know probably won't queue, but then you know that you can also go do, you know, this invasion like crashed aircraft or abandoned Fort Garoon, but you can't queue that while you're waiting for PvP, so you kind of have to, you know, prioritize one, and one may never happen, and then, you know, unbeknownst to you, you missed your chance to do the other one. I think that conceptually just, that sucks. What else? So yeah. Other questions, other concerns, other reasons why you're not particularly feeling the game at this moment. What other games you're looking forward to? I guess I need to do a video on Marvel Heroes and kind of why I haven't gotten into that. Nah, Remotus never came back. I'm genuinely worried about his well-being. I don't know what happened to him.
When you gonna do stream of Terra? Damn right it does.
Okay, so I still kind of want to play around with my Twitch a little bit. I just want to figure out just a few more things before I start streaming. But for the most part, I think I have most of the stuff figured out. I was in a kind of weird period this last week. You know how you kind of get lazy with certain stuff, and it's like once you do it, you realize it's not as bad as you thought it would be. I've kind of been not dreading doing a video, but I just kind of been in a weird state of complacency. I felt like, you know, I was kind of fine. I felt like for the most part I did my explanations on everything recently, but I really did miss, you know, just kind of interacting with this you know, with you guys, and so for the most part I think I will be doing some more videos and stuff soon, and I'll probably try to get my live stream for Terra up. Ooh, maybe not tomorrow, because tomorrow's my birthday. I may be busy. People like to surprise people. I don't know why, but if not Friday, then Saturday. I think that's a safe bet. So I'm gonna kind of take a look at Terra, and yeah, I'm not gonna get too far because I want the whole thing to be live reaction, first impression. I'll probably cam up. I mean, not that that's weird. I just feel like that's something I have never really done, so that'll be a new experience for me. No, I haven't beaten D4. D4 is just inexplicably hard. It's not even really. I mean, I think people have completed it. I just feel like it's not worth the time. Like, there's really no point. For what it's worth, Generation 2 gear will be out in less than a week at this point. And, I don't know, I already have a purple weapon.
Mastering multiple classes
I don't know.
the greatest in divine mode, as you can then juggle divine abilities and
I just really, I don't see a huge incentive. Yep, Terra is coming to console, which is really cool. For what it's worth, Terra seems more up my alley. You know, there are designated and distinct actual healing classes. I like the ability to actually heal rather than just support my team. You know, the DPSs, everything is just a little bit more involved. For what it's worth, it's okay. So let's say there was a spectrum, right, of how things were.
This game is not MMO. Everyone is close to each other. BCZ every invasion, it's the same system.
Exactly, right? So it's kind of redundant. I agree. I really agree. It's just a little bit redundant. And the thing is, like, okay, so let's say if there was a spectrum, right, between action RPG, a game like Diablo, or Marvel Heroes Omega. Let's say action RPG is the far left, and MMORPG like World of Warcraft or something is far right. So Terra on this spectrum is probably further to the right. It's more of a true to form MMO, right? And a game like Skyforge is a little bit more to the left. For what it's worth, it's much more of an action RPG, right? You know, your rotation is kind of basic. Like I said, the queuing system, all of that. The rating, everything about it is just a little bit more basic. It's a little bit more of an action RPG than anything else. So Terra is what excites me about it. Is it's a little bit more true to form of a MMORPG. So this is actually really cool that you guys are asking these questions. I didn't know how interested you guys were in Terra, and this is kind of reinforcing my thoughts behind the game. So just like I did for Skyforge, I will kind of release some news and show some gameplay, show some trailers and stuff that people put together, and kind of keep you informed and up to date on Terra. And then I will do my own gameplay just so you can see, you know, and know what to expect when you hop in the game, whether or not it's fun from the jump and all that kind of stuff. So that's actually pretty cool. I'm glad that you guys seem to be interested in that. Let's go to the Temple of Deeds and see. Whoa, not what I wanted to do.
LOL.
Oh god. Need a new chair. Need a new chair real bad. Chairs snap, crackling, and popping.
Has Terra stated a release date yet?
No, so Terra has no release date. Alright, so it's supposed to be by the end of the year. That's what they've been saying. If I had to guess, they're going to announce Terra at E3, right? Terra Beta, closed beta, which everyone can sign up for. I will put a link in the description of the video.
Venture as outlaw and pull DPS off of me as I'm playing Creo.
I mean, I'll take that challenge. But, so yeah. My guess would be that they're going to announce Terra at E3, which is, you know, like June, what, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, something like that. They're going to announce it then in about a week or so. Closed beta will come out maybe a week or two, maybe even 3 after that, so late June, early July. And then the actual game will come out sometime in the fall, if I had to guess, like maybe October or November. That's just my guess, though.
Can you get the Pioneer's artifact in the current game?
So let's see. Pioneer's artifact. Yeah, you can get Mark. Yep, you can get Mark of the Pioneer. It still drops. It just drops at a lower rate, so it drops at an 86% health modifier, and initially it was dropping at 170%, which was not intended. Alright, so even on this stream, I'm beginning to feel some boredom leak into myself. I'm really just kind of wanting to play Rocket League right now. I'm not gonna lie. So E3, I believe, is maybe the 13th, 14th, and 15th, or the 12th, 13th, and 14th. I'm not exactly sure. Let me check for a second. I can stream Rocket League. I can do that. Okay, so it's the 13th to the 15th. 13th, 14th, 15th, like I said. So yeah, E3 is really fun. Check that out. It'll be streamed live on PlayStation as always for free. It's always a good way to kind of get some insight to new games, stuff like that. I love E3. It's something cool where, like, if you're bored, just grab some chips, popcorn, whatever you do, and watch a couple hours of that, see what's coming out. So, I mean, I'm down to kind of keep talking, just to talk. But I will go to Rocket League probably. Let me see. It might just be some fun matches. Let's see. I'm gonna text one of my friends and see. It's June, so this is in like a week. This is happening. Oh god. Alright. So let's see if my friend responds to this text here. And then we can hop on Rocket League. And for those of you who just want to talk, kind of keep going, talk about life, all that stuff, my plans, I'm definitely down for that. Like I said, I kind of just missed the interaction of it all. I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on how you felt about Skyforge, and then, also kind of figure out if you would be mad at me if I played it a little bit less. I hoped that you wouldn't, and I figured that you wouldn't because I think for the most part all of us are in the same boat, right? If you agree, give me like a thumbs up or a yes in the chat. Let me know if you're feeling just a little bit bored yourselves. Let me know if you're starting to feel the redundancy of the game. Yeah, I am definitely planning to get Destiny 2. I loved the PvE of Destiny 1. Alright, so like I have a really weird relationship with Destiny, right? I hated year one. Hated it. I thought the game sucked ass. I don't know, my friend was like a huge diehard Destiny fan, and he tried to tell me, like, oh, it's so good, the story is so developed, blah, blah, blah. I was like, there's no story, the game is kind of boring, there's nothing to do, yada, yada, yada. So, time went on. Year 2 offered a little bit more. The only thing I really even liked about year 1 at all, remotely, was Prison of Elders. But really, I started to like Destiny when King's Fall came out. Taken King. The King's Fall raid has to be one of the best raids I've played in almost any game. Just mechanically, I think it was really fun. Figuring the whole thing out and just playing through it. It was one of the only raids where I felt like I could go in there every week and it didn't feel like a chore. It was fun almost every time up until the point where we had only had that raid for the whole year. So I think really my biggest problems with Destiny now are they give way too much money and time to Crucible. I think that the game's main focus should not be PvP. I get that Activision took it off and they're, like a Call of Duty franchise, like that's where they get their money. But Destiny, for the most part, I think should have been a primarily PvE game. Just my opinion. I think that was the more interesting side of Destiny. 2, I think that they're really bad at releasing content in a timely fashion, and if not, they're really bad at releasing enough content. So the thing is with Destiny, there's a really hard balance, right? It's really difficult to balance player progression because there are people who will no life games, right? So I think rather than releasing a lot of content at once, Destiny should have been releasing content, maybe not quarterly, but they should have been releasing content at least 3 times a year, right? I feel like we should have been getting at least 3 raids a year and probably close to like maybe 8 or 9 strikes, right? So you get like 2 strikes in a raid, and then you get like 3 strikes in a raid, another 3 strikes in a raid. That's your year. I think that's what Destiny should have been.
They sure got the ability to disable invites.
Yeah, so I don't know. Destiny, I feel like has a lot of room for development, but I don't know. It's scaring me. It really is. I want Destiny to succeed because I like the gameplay of Destiny for what it's worth. I like where Destiny can take things. I just don't like the way that the first 3 years of Destiny were handled. Yeah, I don't know. So, like I said, they have a really solid game in terms of how it plays, and they just need to do a little bit better of a job in terms of content. And I think everyone can agree on that. But yeah, all that aside, I really am excited for Destiny 2. I really do intend on playing that. Terra, for sure. I intend on no-lifing Terra as much as possible. I'm a student, this is my summer break, all that. So as much free time as I have, I feel like this is the optimal time for me to be spending an obscene amount of time on video games. Let's see.
Let's be
so
honest,
yeah.
Black's Rockstar are the masters of the online update and content. Sure, look at Grand Theft Auto.
Right. I mean, Grand Theft Auto in terms of
Destiny, I never would have gotten
longevity.
Games. It's the first game I felt like I needed to go get a mic.
Yeah, I mean, and communication, like, I think online gaming is really where it is. I think, no, all jokes aside, I really want to say that solo player games are stupid. Like, single player games, like, I feel like single player games shouldn't be developed anymore. And I don't mean I don't like action adventure games. One of my favorite game series / franchises of all time is Uncharted. I love the Uncharted series. I just think, and even Uncharted, that's my point. I just think it's dumb to make a game that doesn't cater to an online community in 2017. That's where gaming is right now, and that's what's fun. People don't like to be shut off anymore. We're so used to constant connection that playing a game alone feels awkward now. Like, it actually feels wrong. That might be weird to say. Like, you know, if there are older people in the stream, like, you guys remember single player gaming more than I do. But, like, you know, as a 6, 7, 8-year-old, I could sit down and play a game by myself without problems. You know, like, that's what game consoles were back in the day. Like, it was just a distraction for you to do alone. That was literally what it was. Now, playing a game alone feels like the worst thing ever. Playing a game alone feels bad. That sucks. Like, you don't want to have to play a game alone. So yeah, that's my spiel. But yeah, I kind of disagree with the whole concept of single player games right now. And I think a game that can cater to an online community, an online audience, is where it's at. And I don't want to bring it up. Really, I don't. It's still in developmental stages. I have no clue what I'm doing. But I started scripting, like actually scripting a game of my own. It's kind of an MMO. And a lot is going into it. I'm putting kind of a lot of time and thought into it. And no money yet, but hopefully some in the future if I can actually figure things out. So I'm not going to talk about that because it's so flimsy right now. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these companies do a really shoddy job at kind of figuring out what people want, which seems weird because people are so willing to give feedback, you know? Like, there's so many YouTube channels, there's so many blogs, there's so many, you know, what are they called? Oh my god. What are they called? How am I drawing a blank on this? Like threads. Like, I don't know what the proper term is right now because it's escaping me, but there's so many like web threads that, you know, are people are talking about these games, and I think it's just weird that no one has seemed to get it exactly right yet. And I mean, I get, you know, some games can't perfect certain aspects of the MMO because of how they play. Like Destiny wanted to be kind of an MMO, but it's hard to do that when you're a shooter. But you know, it's weird to me. I would definitely do podcasts. There's podcasts like, yeah, that's another source of information and stuff like that.
Game with me, so why bother trying to get people to game with me?
Yeah, I don't know. It can be hard to get your friends on games. I don't have a lot of friends that I know in person that play video games, but I have made a lot of friends on video games, which I think is another nice aspect of the community. But you have to be, you know, yeah, real life friends are things of the past. Like, not joking, I probably have like more friends, and this is gonna sound weird, like I'm sounding like a loser, right? But like, I think most people can agree that you only have a couple of close friends in person, but you have a bunch of friends that you feel close enough to on games. You get me? Like, am I making sense? Like, you only have like my friends in person are obviously closer friends, but you only have a couple of those. And then you have a whole bunch of people that you are pretty well connected to and feel close to on video games. If that doesn't sound crazy. So yeah. That's just I guess this stream got really off topic. I feel like I should probably delete this stream and then make a video and just let people comment on it, and I'll respond to their comments. That'll be what I do. But I guess I will hop on Rocket League and I'll just stream that. And yeah, if you guys want to hop into that stream and keep chatting, I'm definitely down for that. I'm probably going to be trash when I play Rocket League because I'm trying to communicate and talk, and when I play Rocket League, it requires a lot of focus. I feel like Rocket League is such an intense game, and people are so sleep on like how difficult it actually is. But let's see if I can get the Savage Babyface to get on Rocket League with me. Let's see. GP Savage Babyface, everybody.
Sham should get on RKL.
But alright, I'm gonna wrap this one up. I'm Mars, the Gravity Project. Everyone who came out, thank you so much for watching. I actually had a lot of fun. But
Hell, you'll be better than me, laugh.
But yeah. And I don't know, I mean, hey man. Look. I don't wanna oh god, I don't wanna butcher this. Is it no? Oh god. Alright, I'm gonna go with Dyer, right? Dyer. Look, I think a lot of gaming comes with proficiency. Just being good at anything attracts a peer group, you know? I think one of the coolest things about getting good at a game, you know, you kind of find your niche, and once you're good, like let's say you hop on Terra with us, right? And you get really good at healing. When it comes to MMOs and just, you know, PlayStation kind of communities where there's mics and people are interacting and trying to get stuff done, if you're really good at one particular thing, that gets a lot of notice. I played DC Universe for a long time, and I was a really good controller at first, and then I turned out to be a pretty good DPS, and all that combined with my YouTube channel, which was not big at all at the time, I made a lot of friends. I made a ton of friends. And so I think, you know, it's just finding what you're good at, and then you don't even have to look for friends. Friends will come to you, you know. You'll be in a group playing by yourself as you've been doing, which, like I said, definitely sucks. But, you know, you're playing in a group and you're healing, and you're one of the best healers they'd ever seen. Guarantee all of those people add you, and they try to start playing with you on the regular. That's just how things work. But, yeah. So, I'm gonna end this one here. I'm gonna get in a group with GP Savage Babyface on, yeah, see? DPSing, people love good DPS. And a game like Terra, which I'm expecting to have leaderboards and damage meters, they do on PC, just like this game did, but hopefully Terra won't f that up. Yeah, a game like that where you can noticeably be a good DPS, that's going to get you a lot of notoriety. So yeah, I'm gonna hop over. Like I said, thank you everyone, and I will be back.